Hola, today it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have a coffee chat because I wanted to talk to you about the 5 things that I find myself having the most deep discussions with when it comes to Shopify and my clients. So I figure, you know what? I want to share it with all of you. So thank you for being here. Welcome. My name is Betsy. I am a Shopify website designer here showing you all of my tips, tricks, and resources so that you can build a Shopify store that you are proud of. And I also sprinkle in some Canva tutorials as well. So let's get into those 5 things. The first one is, can you guess what it could be? Images. Yes, it is always the hot topic that I have to talk about with all of my clients. So if this is something that you struggle with, you are not alone. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to images, there is a difference between the image size and the image file size. Okay, so those are 2 sizes that you have to be conscious of. Okay, so the image size is just that. What is the size of the image? So for most Shopify stores, the images are square. So typically a nice size for product images is 2048 by 2048 pixels. Typically, each theme has its own requirements for the image sizes that are recommended for their theme. So I will list them in the description down below for some of the free Shopify themes that usually are all the same. But for the most part, 2048 by 2048 is relatively a safe size for your product images. Now, the image size is a whole different thing. So the image size is just that. How big is the file size for that image? So I typically recommend for your image file size to be less than 1 megabyte. Preferably, if you can keep it at 500 kilobytes, that would be great. But sometimes it's not possible based on the size of the image. And that will go just range. That includes your hero banners, your background images, all of that should stay under 1 megabyte, just so that it helps the speed of your website, right? So large images really aren't needed, so you have an image size that's anywhere between 2 megabytes, 5 megabytes, 20. You really don't need those size images for anything on your website. So the best thing that you could do is, before you upload your images to Shopify, is to take all of your images and compress them first. So you can use sites like TinyPNG to grab all of your images, compress them, then upload them into your Shopify store. Okay. However, if you don't want to do that, if you have already uploaded all of your images and you're watching this video now, you can install image compressing apps in your Shopify store. They have plenty of Shopify apps that you could use to help you do that if the images are already uploaded. The other thing about images is to always name your images the appropriate name. The name of your images is just as important as the file size. It goes into account when it comes to your SEO. So do not upload images that say image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because that's not what's in the image, right? So let's say, for example, the product image is this red rose scarf, right? So if you have multiple images, just simply name them rose, black and red rose scarf image 1, black and red rose. Say that a few times. Black and red rose scarf number 2, right? So you can do that. Name them 1, 2, 3, but name it what the product is. Not only would it be easy for you to find it in your files, but it's also for SEO. So again, if you have already uploaded all of your images and those are the file names, that is okay. There's really nothing you can do other than to redo that all over again. And I'm sure that's not what you want to do. And I don't want you to waste your time doing that. Okay. Now, I can't end talking about images without talking about blurry images. All right. Ensure that they're high quality images. Remember, you really need to showcase your products with the images. So take images of the different sizes. For example, my cup, you might want to have an image where it says the Starbucks. You might have an image of this side, this side, this side, the top, so that they can see what the top looks like. Maybe open it and show, the cap, what the cap looks like, okay? So think about the details that your clients, your customers want to see when you are taking the images and posting those images in your product description or your product page. Okay, that's enough about images. Now let's jump on into number 2, payment options. You have to give your customers payment options. And with today's day and age, with these accelerated checkouts, the Apple Pay, the Google Pay, the anything pay, right? You have to give them those options. If you are experiencing a lot of cart abandonment, it could be because you're not offering the payments that people are using, right? There's nothing worse than when we're shopping and we don't have the payment options that you have available. We have to go get our credit cards. And, with all of the distractions that we have, the phone is ringing, this person's calling, oh, someone's knocking on the door. And then we forget, what were we doing on the phone? Oh, we were shopping. But, so if your cart abandonment is high, it could be because you're not offering the payments that they currently have on them, right? Maybe they don't have their purse with them, their wallets with them. And so they have to go get it. And so they'll shop later. And then there goes your cart abandonment. Okay. So offer different payment options. Shopify, again, makes it super easy. It's just a matter of activating it. Number 3 is designing a Shopify store if you're not a designer. Now, this is what my channel is all about, is showing you how to design a Shopify store that you are proud of. But if you're not a designer, stay within the guardrails of the theme that you have chosen. These themes have all been designed by professional designers in order to maximize conversion, which is what we want, to maximize conversion so people get onto your website and shop. And as Shopify every 6 months releases new things that allow us to be able to create more customizations, and sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. It's great for us who are designers because there's less coding we have to do on the back end, but it's not so much for non-designers because they can take those and create things that are not so good looking, okay? And that ends up hurting your conversion. So if you're not a designer, go ahead and just use the theme the way it was intended, and then upgrade a few things here and there. Maybe add a background image here somewhere. Maybe, do a little bit of tweaking here and there, but leave the structure the way it is. It was designed that way for a reason until you are able to then outsource to a designer to be able to design the website exactly how you want it. Now, the 4th one is reviews. Now, I know that if you're just starting out, you don't have any reviews. I understand that. So what you could do is give a product to some family and friends, or products to family and friends, and have them give you an honest review. That will be the best thing that you could do. Now, if you're drop shipping, you can always get reviews from AliExpress or any other drop shipping services that you're using. Usually have reviews that you could use on your website, but having reviews on your website is the best thing that you could do when you're first starting out. The 5th and final is apps. Do not go crazy installing apps onto your website because apps slow down your website. It adds code to the back end of your site. Okay, so the more code there is, the slower your website will be, right? And we don't want a slow website, right? So before you start to install apps, think through what it is that you want to offer in your store. Do you want to do upsells? Do you want to possibly offer rewards, right? Of course, you want your review app, but think through what you want to offer before you start to install apps, okay? And then once you go to install apps, make sure that you read the reviews for the app before you install it to see what people are saying about the app, okay? Then go ahead and install it and hopefully everything will work out. But if you find that you installed an app that you do not like, it's not working the way you expected it to work, do not just delete the app from the app menu. Make sure that you go into the app and look for the instructions on how to uninstall so that you do it correctly. Because if you just go onto the app and just click delete, it might still leave code on the back end of your site, which I would call like residue code, that it could interfere with other apps that you install. Okay, so make sure that you uninstall it correctly and you should be good to go. So that is the most common topics that I discuss with my clients in length. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is the first time that I do this format. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it, and then I'll make some more. So until next time, my friend, adios.